What's going on, everybody? I'm here today with UFC fighter Benil Dariush. How you doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. My first question is just how's your summer been with your family?
Summer's pretty cool right now. My daughter's two, so she does a lot of activities. Going anywhere near the water is her favorite, and it's been pretty cool just hanging out with her, enjoying the summer. And then I got another one who's 4 months old, and she just wants to be held and loved. So, uh, can't complain.
The older one, have you took her to the beach?
We we take her to the beach quite a bit. Living in California, good weather all the time. The problem with summer is it's a pain. It's a hour, to get to the beach. Parking is not the best, and it's just a pain in the butt. There's it's called like Lagoon or whatever. There's like Adventure Lagoon, and there's other places like that you can take. I think in Newport it's called Dune or something. It's just easy places you can take your kids where it's less packed and it's still water and if the kids are having a good time, you're having a good time.
I feel like Orange County is more packed this year than it's been in a while. Like it's always summer, but this year there's no parking anywhere, anytime.
I, Dude, I just stay close to my house where it's easy because the closer you get to water, the more difficult it is.
For sure. Well, first question is it's been almost 2 months since your fight with Charles. How are you feeling about your next fight, your next move, like timetable, all that sort of stuff?
Feel good, I've been talking to the UFC about possibly November. The names the options that are available would be either I guess Fazeev is not available anymore, but it was Michael Chandler, Fazeev, and Arman. And Michael Chandler is probably not going to happen either. He's just sitting there waiting either for Conor or just I don't know what he's waiting for, but that seems to be where he's at, right? So I think Arman is going to be my next option. I've heard people say you should wait, but man, waiting is boring. I like fighting. I enjoy the process, so I want to be out there.
I wanted to ask. I printed this out actually because it's like just a meme that's going around, but it shows like like McGregor looking at Gaethje, like he kind of left Chandler hanging because that after the UFC show they were supposed to fight, and then he kind of ignored him, blew him off on his own time. Now he just straight out comes out after Gaethje wins and says, calls him out. So Chandler's like, probably, what the hell?
Yeah, is it me or does it feel like uh, Connor just wants to be relevant? Not just relevant too, but steal the hype, the thunder, the cloud, or whatever you want to call it, of other fighters that are doing well. He's just all about himself, and he's so self-centered, man. I don't understand. Just relax. Don't use Twitter for a day or something. I don't know. He's not. I just feel like we give him too much attention. You could just ignore the guy. I think that's the best thing you could do for his health and ours.
Mm. I know that Gaethje won, and it was a huge, huge win for him. I mean, such a incredible, tough fight, big for his career, just big for anyone. And then, like you said, then the narrative gets around Conor and him, so he kind of got in there quickly. What did you think about that? I know you're friends with Gaethje, and you predicted that he would win because he was hungrier.
Yeah, I mean, Justin looked amazing. The first round was close, and I know they say Justin was hurt. I wouldn't say he was hurt. I think it was just that's just fighting. There was some good exchanges. The first round was really close, and then that second round, I if you had told me head kick, I would have said maybe, very small chance because when I trained with him, he actually landed some really good head kicks on me as well. So he had that ability. I knew he had that ability. I just never seen it in an actual fight. So man, he did so good. Congratulations to him. I was super impressed with his performance.
Do you think I know you don't care so much about the money and the timetables. I think a lot of people wait a lot more and are more picky. Do you think that a lot of people just want the money with Connor? So even Gaethje, at first he said he wasn't thinking about it, and then it feels like he is thinking about it. He said sign the contract. Like that's just such a cash money fight. Connor, you're probably getting over a mil.
Um, I don't know. For me, like you said, it's not like Connor's not even on. If I had a top 10 list of people to fight, I don't think he would make that list. That being said, as far as Justin wanting to fight him, from the what I see, I don't think Justin really wants to fight him. I think he's just calling the bluff. That's really what I see.
With Chandler, you think that it's open for him to fight you? I mean, that would be a good fight. Obviously, you think he's just holding out for Conor, just seeing if that's still a possibility.
I really don't think the fight with me and Chandler would happen. I just don't think Chandler is really looking for this kind of fight. I think he just wants one big fight. I feel like he wants to retire, and he wants that Conor McGregor fight to retire. That's like his goal, and it's I'm I'm not gonna go out there like calling people out all day and begging them to fight me. It was the same thing with Dustin Poirier. I asked for the fight. He flat out said no publicly, and I don't really bother with it anymore. Chandler, I just don't even waste my time because it's obvious what he's looking for.
With Poirier, I wanted to ask you because right now he sits at number 3 in the division. You sit at number 4. He said after his fight, I remember when he said he didn't want to fight you or he wasn't excited or whatever he said. Recently, he said he doesn't want to fight newcomers. And who else is there really to fight but you? You're not a newcomer. You're right next to him in rank. You're not below, like that far below him. So who else is he going to fight but you now?
I don't know. I don't care. He doesn't want to fight. That's fine for him. You know, I honestly like. It's not like one of those things where I'm like I hate him or something. Yeah, even in the future, if the tables turned, I don't know. Maybe I won't. I'll be like, okay, maybe I'm not interested, but I'll probably be like, nah, I want to fight that guy. He's a great fighter. So I don't know. It's really in Dustin's hands. I just know if the option was presented to me, I'd say yes, and it wouldn't take it wouldn't be anything special.
I know you said that Poirier should probably retire if he doesn't want to fight certain people at one point. You said that Chandler kind of wants to retire. Do you feel like that's what's happening? McGregor, I'm not sure what's going on, whether when he's going to fight again. Do you feel like that's what they're all doing to you in your head?
Poirier, I don't think he wants to retire. I just think, how do I explain Poirier? I think he understands like there's one or two fights he could pick. There's if he's patient, he'll find the right fight. And in his opinion, I'm not the right fight for him. So if he's patient enough, something will present itself eventually. And so I think what he's doing right now is just being patient. I don't think he wants to retire. I think he just makes his decisions more. He kind of looks at everything, in terms of what's going to give me the best pay per view numbers, what's going to, get more eyes on me, just things like that. What can make the fight bigger? And I think he looks at me and he doesn't see much there. Um, Chandler, I just feel like he wants to retire. I don't know why I get that feeling, but that's just the feeling I get. I could be wrong. I think he wants to have a Conor fight and call it from there. And then as far as McGregor goes, I don't know if he's ever gonna fight or is he just cloud chasing or thunder trying to steal people's thunder or whatever it's called.
I know you like to fight a lot and you don't like to wait around. If you do fight Sarukian and you win, do you think you deserve a title shot? Because Gaethje might get the next one. I mean, Charles maybe is fighting Islam. That's what they say. Like, who else is there?
You know, I think for whatever the reason may be, I'm held to a higher standard. So if I beat Armand, no, I don't think I'll get a title shot, but maybe. The UFC likes to surprise me once in a while, so maybe they'll give me the title shot, but I don't see it.
I was hoping, I mean, just from a fan perspective, Poirier says he's not fighting any newcomers, that he doesn't, he wants to fight a big fight. You guys being right there, I was thinking in my head, I mean, it's probably not going to line up, but if you guys fought and then winner would maybe get a title shot, but it looks like that the timeline's not adding up.
Here's the thing: if I was to fight Poirier next, I think I would get a title shot for that. He obviously he's very highly ranked. I think that makes a difference, and also he's just he's such a popular guy. So many people like him. So many people watch him, and you know, he just carries a bigger name. To fight him, I think that would give me a title shot. But with Arman, it's iffy. I might not.
I was listening to Sean O'Malley's podcast, and he was talking about Corey Sandhagen, who's similar to you, where he just takes the fights. He believes in himself. He doesn't like to wait around, and he'll take tough newcomers. And Sean O'Malley basically said that's not smart. He should get his money. He should be patient sometimes and get better fights, bigger fights. What would you say if someone said that to you, that you should, wait and try to take bigger fights instead of you challenge yourself with Gamrot? Now you're fighting Sarukian. No one seems to want to fight the newcomers, but you're always like, I'm game.
Well, I mean, I agree with O'Malley. If your focus is the title and money, then I agree with that. But my focus is fighting the best guys in the world, and in my opinion, Arman is one of the best guys in the world. And my other goal is just not squandering the gifts God gave me. So those are really my goals. It's the title's cool. Don't get me wrong. I would love to be a champion, but it's not my biggest motivator.
Did you see Arman's last fight?
Yeah, yeah, he
Would
looked really good. He looked good in his striking. He looked good in his grappling. He had one moment where things weren't going well for him, but he overcame that. So man, great fighter.
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he backed out of his fight, or rather, the other guy missed by 3 pounds, and he had a decision: do I want to fight him and take part of the purse, or do I just sit out? And he sat out. He references Darren Till fight, and he said, I took a fight before. He weighed too much, and it weighed on me. And I heard him on Ariel's podcast. He was talking about, if it's just 3 pounds, cut 3 pounds. Those are the hardest 3 pounds. We're suffering. My eyes are, rolled out, and we're doing it. And these guys, he feels like in some cases, are purposely not doing it because they only know they're going to lose that percentage and still climb the ladder if they win. Do you think people are doing it purposely? And do you think there needs to be a bigger penalty? Because the way I see more and more people missing weight in the last couple of months.
Mm, purposefully isn't the word I would use. I just think it becomes so drastic and so inconvenient that they just say, you know what, I'd rather lose money. I mean, unless you're very rich, it's money. Yeah, we live, fighters, we live off of our fights. We don't make money at other places, and so it's huge for us. Our biggest income typically comes from our fights. So I think bigger fines would be good. I think bigger fines would be good. I think, but I think Wonder Boy in a lot of ways made the right choice. Like, why fight a guy? You know, it's not that guy's first time missing weight. If it was a first time missing weight, it's one thing, and then he's had a bad experience with it. So, I support Wonder Boy on this one.
Well, I'm saying too, 3 pounds. Like, do you think, and I don't know that this is the right answer. I'm just asking you, if you miss by 1 pound or 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, 3 pounds is kind of a lot. So do you think there should be a tiered thing where if you're just going 3 pounds over, it almost feels like I'm not even trying, but I know what the penalty is and I'm going to accept it.
Yeah, those last 3 pounds are like death. You're dying to make weight. So, yeah, no, I agree with Wonder Boy. You could. The thing is, if you do 1 pound and it's like 10% or whatever, then a lot more people are gonna miss it by 1 pound. If you do,
Mm.
20%, just whatever it is, make a big fine, and more people will make weight.
Uh, how close is the Sarukian fight? Is it pretty close to being announced or?
I don't know. I haven't really sat down and spoken with the UFC. I do like the fight a lot though, because the kid is so good and he's good everywhere. And he's a hard fight, and he's very confident in himself. Fighting guys like that is not easy. So I, I don't know how close we are, but hmm, I guess if I had a contract in my hand, I would say we're right there. Just we got to get to the date, but no contract, so you never know.
Got you. I mean, a lot of people lose all the time, but you were on a crazy win streak for a lot of years. This loss, did it feel any different than other ones? Because I know your story of like the run you had. How many years was it? 4 or 5 years total?
I'm not sure.
Or
It
three?
was a couple of years for sure. It's not my first time losing, and having to pick myself up and put myself together. The one thing I can tell you, I know that wasn't the best version of me, and so that's something that gives me comfort, knowing if I can do a better job showing up the night of the fight, no one can beat me. I truly believe that if I show up the way I should, no one can beat me. And unfortunately, I didn't do that at this fight. Or maybe I got too comfortable. Maybe I just was I didn't prepare properly. I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't, whatever it may be. I'm gonna fix it, go back in there, and I'm gonna show the world that I am the best in the world. So, and it's one step at a time. I could be a Sarukian, and people will still be like, nah. So I'll just beat him, and then whoever's next, and whoever's next. I'll just do what I did before.
Do you think Gaethje deserves a title shot after whoever fights? Or I heard even Chael Sonnen was saying that maybe Charles isn't going to fight Islam, and they might try to put him in that slot. That's just a rumor, though.
I think Gaethje deserves the title shot for sure. He finished Dustin Poirier, and it's not often Dustin Poirier gets knocked out with a head kick. Dustin Poirier is a great striker with great defense. So as far as what he accomplished, I was really impressed. Um, as far as fighting October 24th, replacing Charles, here's the thing. I know Justin said he would never go back to Abu Dhabi. Justin is sitting in a good position right now. He doesn't have to force himself to go there. So I don't see him going out there, especially if it's short notice. And then I know he also likes to take some time in between fights. So it is. It's hard to say what they're going to do.
Did you watch the Bobby Green Ferguson fight?
I did. I did.
What do you think about it?
Before the fight, my heart was like uh, Ferguson, but my mind was like Bobby, and it kind of played out the way I thought it would. I One thing I noticed when I was fighting with Tony is a weird twitch pause he does between his movements, and I don't know if it's just over years of fighting and he's just taking too much damage, or it's just his style. Whatever it was, I think he's lost a step. Personally, I think he's lost a step, but who knows? Who knows what Tony's gonna do, and who knows what's next? But yeah, and he's not fighting easy guys either. Bobby Green, I think, has some fast hands, or Bobby King, I think is his new name, right? Is that official? I'm not sure.
I read that he changed it like permanently. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's true too, but maybe he actually officially did it or something. Government
Yeah,
name.
but he's got skills and he's got hands for sure. He's got good hands.
He kind of like keeps them down and throws them from the bottom. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, what that does is it reduces maybe power, not too much in power, but it makes it more difficult to predict where the punch is coming from, and then two, the speed goes up.
Mm.
The reaction time is it's harder to deal with it for the guy who's reacting. So it's a difficult style, but the danger is the fact that your offense goes down. So I think what he's done well is really worked on his defense. I'm sorry, his defense is very good for someone who has his hands down so much.
Did you think that Pereira won, or how did you score that fight?
I was leaning towards Jan
Hmm.
because the third round, I think everyone agrees is the round that's in question, right? The third round was very close in striking, in my opinion, and Jan got a takedown. So I lean towards Jan because of it, but it wasn't like he took him down and did a bunch of damage. So it was such a close fight, and I didn't consider it a robbery, but I thought Jan won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I understand when you're watching from home or in person, everybody sees different things. You watch it multiple times. I felt like, and maybe I was biased, but the announcers were like, when Pereira hit, I know he did swell up the leg, but besides that, they were acting like when Jan hit it, like wasn't anything, and Pereira hit where I thought it was pretty close to. I mean, it said that Pereira had more strikes, but I thought it was close. And with the takedown, maybe he got it. But it felt like the announcers the whole time were like, Pereira has this, Pereira has this. He's got it in the bag. Jan didn't do enough. And I'm like, I'm not seeing it the same, but that's all good.
Yeah, and then you got to understand for announcers, you as an announcer, you watch thousands of fights, right? And you've seen these guys fight as who knows how many times, and you know what they do well. You know that, for example, Pereira is a good striker, so you focus more on him. I don't
Mhm.
think it's like a bias thing. It's just something they expect, so they're more likely to look for it. It's something that is expected of him, so they're more likely to look for it. And then the grappling part is what's more expected of Jan, so they're more likely to look for it. And if they're only looking at it that way, it definitely makes Jan look like he's less active because he did land strikes, like you said. I thought he landed some good strikes, but it's just the way it is.
One thing that I noticed when Volkanovski fights, not to get off topic, it relates to this, but he kind of like points at it. Like he'll be like, nah, that didn't get me. Or he'll be like, yeah, that got me. And they always talk about that. But to me, it makes it seem like he's not hurt, even if he gets hurt, because he's almost just pointing all the time. Do you think with Pereira, like he's just like a stone figure and then you have Jan panting, obviously, and a little more tired. Do you think people like that plays into it, even if maybe you landed 3 strikes, but you're tired and the guy who got hurt really bad is pointing as if like, it's whatever, I'm fine. But in his head, it's like, dang, that was a hard hit.
Oh yeah, body language for sure plays into it, and Jan's body language was not good. He looked exhausted. That's the only thing I would say. Body language was I think was probably Jan's downfall. If it wasn't for that, there's a better chance he could have won that fight or got his hand raised. What Volkanovski does, that's just an extra. He doesn't need to do that to win the fight. He makes it pretty clear. So, but it
Right.
does help. I don't think he's doing it for the judges. I think he's just doing it just to do it. But the body language really does help in terms of judges because they're people. They're regular people. They can be swayed.
Well, yeah, because say you get rattled and you're like, whoa, the judge is like, all right, that was the hardest hit of the round. But if you get hit that hard, but you kind of just like point at it in your head, you're like a little rattled, but you're like, all right, you got me. I feel like he hasn't needed it recently, but that's got to sway in their opinion a little bit. Maybe not always, but one judge be like, all right, since he handled it better and since it looks like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Could be. You never know what the judges think.
I have a question about cage grabbing or fence grabbing and then eye pokes as well. I don't think Tony used it as an excuse. He mentioned that after that he wasn't the same, but I think he wrote in his post that I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it didn't help. Do you think, obviously, with cage grabbing, I see all the time people grab it once, grab it twice, grab it 3 times, and they're real slow to deduct a point. I understand it's a fight. I understand things happen, but it feels like whenever there's a rule that people know they could get away with, they're going to do it more because they know that they're not going to get deducted for it.
I think with cage grabbing, for example, if you're grabbing the cage and I'm going for the takedown, and you can clearly see I would have got the takedown with that cage grab, take a point. For sure, take a point. Pause him, take a point, put him back in the same exact spot. But if, for example, if you're on the cage and the guy's just pulling on you and you accidentally grab the cage, it wasn't going to be a takedown, but you just grabbed the cage. I don't know if that's a deserving of a point.
What
Yeah,
about
I
if
don't
you're
know.
using it to get up multiple times? Like clearly
Oh,
someone's
if
on the
you use it
ground.
to get up, that's for sure. That should be a point. But remember, it's hard to tell whether they're just pushing on it or actually grabbing it. Like, are they
Mm,
grabbing it to pull themselves up, or are they just pushing on the cage to get up? Because it's hard to tell. Your fingers can be in there, but you're not actually grabbing it. Your fingers are just in the cage. You know what I mean? It's not that simple to see. So I'm just trying to play both sides here. But as a ref, it's hard to tell when someone is grabbing it to get up and just or they're just pushing to get up because we're used to pushing on the cage or training on the wall to get up.
true. In real time, it's a lot harder to tell. I
Yeah.
guess a question I have is I'm watching The Ultimate Fighter and everybody's yelling kick, punch, kick. And especially when it's a quiet arena like that or the venue in Vegas where everyone can hear everything. If your coach tells you to do something, would you want to do it or would you want to not do it because you feel like the other fighter heard it? I always think that.
Um, you do want to follow what your coach says, but you have to be able to hide things better because your opponent can hear it as well. So if my opponents are yelling like, if my coach is yelling kick, I gotta hide it behind my punches or something like that. Or if my opponent's coaches are yelling kick, I'm gonna be ready for that kick. So it's good and bad having a quiet room. because you can hear the opposing corner, you can hear your corner, but just there's always different elements, different layers.
As a fighter, do you like that? Say it's a more quiet room, or it's quiet enough that you think the other fighter can hear it? Does it?
Pers-
Yeah.
Personally, I just like the quiet room. I like the feel of it. I don't know why, but I really like it. It's I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. I enjoy the quiet room and the fighting. I enjoy the fans too. It's not like I don't, but for some reason, when it's just a quiet room, I just there's a weird chill to it, and it's more intimate, I guess.
I know you like to fight and I know you like to not wait, but a lot of your fans out there, I know they think you deserve a title shot and they want to see you fight for a title shot. It feels like you still don't care, that you're like, I'll get there when I get there, but I'm not going to seek it. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to play the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my fans this, man. I really I truly believe I'll get there. So it's, you might not like the ride, but I'll get there. So that's the best way to put it.
You said you're looking at November.
That's what we're looking at, yeah. But we'll see. It could be December as well.
Got you. Anything else you want to share? And before we left too, I wanted to just ask your relationship with God. I know it's important, just how it's been, how you feel.
Uh, it's my relationship with God that gets me through the tough times. I lean on Him in the good times and the tough times. So it's during this time, it's been a lot of time to meditate and just kind of speak with Him, and it's been great. As terrible as losing is, and as much as I hate it, it's a good time to isolate yourself with Him. So I've done that.
And real quick, like, what's your message to Poirier? I know he wants to fight someone not young, someone not on the come up. Like, there's really Gaethje. He obviously just came off a loss, so he's not going to fight for the title at this point, almost definitely. What's stopping him from making that Beneil play? What's your
I
message?
don't. I don't have a message for him or anybody else that doesn't want to fight me. You don't want to fight, man. Enjoy your life. Go do whatever it is you want. I'm just looking. My goal is to fight the best guys in the world. If you think you're one of the best guys in the world, I'd love. Let's do it. But if not, like, whatever. Do your thing.
And last note, have you felt the love and support this year? I know every time I see a video of you or something, there's just hundreds, thousands of comments of people just really appreciating what you do and what you bring.
Yeah, it's been different. I've never had this many eyes on me before. So I've enjoyed it, but at the same time I've had to kind of like pull away because it's so much, and it's if I was to actually try to engage with everybody, I wouldn't be able to. So it's a weird thing. So for example, if I see a fan in person, I try to be as nice as I can. That's my thing. It's really difficult to be active and answer everybody online. So my goal is when I see you in person is to be as kind as I can possibly be, and online is a little bit more difficult.
You're not a big internet guy. Like, you don't spend hours just reading comments, responding.
Comments definitely not for hours. I'll watch stuff. I enjoy watching stuff on the internet. Like I like watching instructionals, techniques. Uh, a lot of good. There's a lot of good pastors that put their stuff online. I'll watch politics, but overall, I try to stay away from it. Yeah.
I know I cheated with the last question, but you got that salt and pepper in the hair, but you do feel like you're in your prime because you're still a young guy. I think we're pretty much
Uh,
close to the same age.
I don't know. I feel good in the room. I feel good physically. I feel very strong, but I have a lot of I don't know. I got a lot of grays. It just is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. But I've had gray hairs since I was 15. So I think my first gray hair showed up when I was 15. So I think genetics plays a lot in it. As far as whether I'm in prime or whatever, I don't know. But all I know is this: when I get in the room and I feel great. I can make it happen. I don't. Uh, it's not often I fight somebody who can basically beat me in all situations in MMA. So someone could be a better striker than me, and I'll find a way, to win, whether it be grappling or jiu-jitsu or wrestling, or vice versa. So I feel pretty dang good in the room. So I'm looking forward to getting back in the octagon.
Appreciate your time. I'm 33. Every day I'm starting to get more gray hairs. They're starting to creep up on me, man. I'm gonna be
Bro,
there,
you
salt
look
and
like
pepper in
you're
a year.
23. I can't believe you're 33. We're the same age, basically. I mean, you're older than you.
I
So,
know.
uh, I mean, if you look at the camera alone, it looks like we're in different ages. We're in different age
that's
groups.
that's why I said I had to let the people know. I know you feel good and you're at a good age, man. You got years left in you. Just like,
Yeah, maybe I need to get a new camera or something. What is going on here?
you
Dang,
could
I
pull a
didn't
Sugar
realize we were the
Sean.
same
You
age.
go with the bit bubble gum. What if you came back with like green hair? I feel like people would be like, "What?" That's
Yeah,
crazy.
we'll see. I don't. I still remember my wife. She still has to like me because if she doesn't like me, then we have a problem.
I'm just kidding. All natural is the best play.
There it is. All right, brother. You
All
take
right.
care. God bless you.
Appreciate your time.